Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful Wednesday and a great week so far. You guessed it, today we're going to be diving into Cardano, and we've got lots of interesting things to share with you. One thing that we're going to be looking at is this historically accurate algorithm that is predicting Cardano reaches $3.60 by March 2020. This is an article that we're going to dive into. We're going to be correlating this to a number of things. We're going to be flying by at the start of the video some really interesting data that is presenting itself for Cardano in terms of sort of the volume that's transacting on the chain at the moment, and really tie it in with this article that we previously looked at from Grayscale that suggests Cardano is undervalued relative to Ethereum and even Bitcoin. This is an article that we covered in great detail when it first came out, and the reason being is because I believe it's true. And I think there's a lot of unrealized value on Cardano that's about to get realized, certainly with the turning on of their DApp ecosystem. We know that Sunday Swap are any day now, ladies and gentlemen. We've been pretty quiet with our heads down preparing for the mainnet launch. You can expect a very exciting announcement in the next few days. And this was 4 days ago, so Sunday Swap is literally any day now. And this is really going to be the spark that ignites the DApp ecosystem on Cardano. We're going to start to see a lot of value get locked into this DApp. We've seen Muesli Swap as a kind of example or a live case of value getting locked into a DApp on Cardano. This is going to be amplified with Sunday Swap, and it's really going to kick things off. And this, of course, ties in with what this historically accurate algorithm is essentially saying that Cardano is going to do over the next couple of months. We're going to relate this to a number of things, like I said. So let's start the video, guys. Let's start by looking at the overall market. A little bit cheerier today. We do cover the fact, or we do certainly cover the crypto market as a whole in our cryptocurrency market daily updates, where we look at the external sort of financial landscape around us and relate it to our market. As we know, there is a huge correlation there, certainly with what the Federal Reserve is doing. So could potentially still be relief, but ultimately, you know, in my opinion, Bitcoin is going to continue going higher, and of course the market is going to go with it. We've seen a nice little uptick for ADA. Is the bottom in? We're going to be looking at that as well in this video. I want to present some data to you before we dive into the article that we mentioned. Epoch 313 closed. Number of transactions which are smart contract based is now 30% of all transactions. So we're starting to see things ramp up on the smart contract side of things. This is without a mainnet well-known DApp yet. So there's going to be a lot of exaggeration coming in the next couple of months. This is another sort of data point, and this is from Cardano Ergonaut. Brilliant guy, by the way. Give him a follow. Knows exactly what he's talking about. Shout out to you if you're listening. Adjusted transaction volume, 24 hours USD. This is the estimate on-chain transaction volume in US dollars for the past 24 hours, as computed by coinmetrics.io, adjusted to try and remove some types of non-economic transactions. And you can see that Ethereum is at 3,961,000,000, and Cardano is not too far behind at 2,135,000,000. This ties in very nicely with what Grayscale were essentially saying in their report in regards to Cardano, and suggesting that it's undervalued given the network growth that it's seen, its user base, and so on and so forth, in comparison, of course, with Ethereum and Bitcoin. This is something I'm a strong believer on, and I think that a lot of that unrealized value is going to get realized over the coming months, certainly with the turning on of the DeFi ecosystem. So I am unbelievably excited. We told you yesterday that we've been buying Cardano over the past sort of 3 days because we're very confident in what the future looks like. That's not financial advice. It's up to you guys to choose what you do and don't decide to do within these markets. Remember, there's risk attached with any kind of investment, and it's something you guys need to weigh out for yourself. We're just here sort of providing some data points. This is the next thing from Cardano Ergonaut. The current average transaction fee on Ethereum is $52, and Cardano it's 34 cents. Huge difference there, and this is one reason I think Cardano is really going to blossom. It has an amazing community behind it. Yesterday we squashed a lot of FUD, like the rumors about Cardano being a ghost chain, the fact that Haskell indeed was not a Khan, it was a pro. Certainly we looked at the fact that a lot of financial institutions actually use the Haskell language, as it does very well in the sort of financial realm. And this is really, this is a huge reason why I think Cardano is going to do very well. And I certainly believe, and we've looked at the Cardano versus Bitcoin chart and Cardano versus Ethereum. Cardano is about to gain ground against both of these. Certainly Ethereum, which is struggling. We know that we had news and we covered Cardano versus Ethereum in regards to the fact that Ethereum's really delaying things. Essentially Cardano is going to capitalize on Ethereum's issues. Whereas Ethereum had huge first mover advantage in the sense that it was obviously adopted first because it was the first, and we all owe, by the way, not an Ethereum hater here, we all owe a huge gratitude to Ethereum because there would be no Cardano, no Solana, no Avalanche, no Terra, no Binance Smart Chain without this. However, it's fallen short, and one reason Binance Smart Chain or BNB is in that third position is simply because of Ethereum. They really capitalized on the fact that Ethereum was just not scalable or usable, and they came in a more centralized manner to kind of deal with some of the issues, but creating one, if you will, because we know that centralization, of course, is against the whole kind of blockchain crypto narrative, certainly Satoshi's narrative of it. So there's lots going on, guys. This is the article that, of course, I want to dive into mainly in this video. Historically accurate algorithm predicts Cardano might surge to $3.60 by March 2020. And we're going to look at a number of things, like, of course, the Cardano chart, to sort of tie this in, the fundamental reasons why potentially we're going to see a chart that looks like this. This is the algorithm. It's historically been very accurate. And could we see it continue? Remember, models, just like Plan B stock to flow, they work until they don't. But there are a number of reasons, and certainly this is something I'm not going to call for $3.60, but I certainly, you guys know, nobody's more bullish on Cardano than I am. I think we're going to see new all-time highs, and we're going to go above and beyond. And I think the crypto market moves up as a whole, and Cardano is going to do very well within that, having sort of real use cases. So let's read a little bit of this article, show you the algorithmic price predictor, and then we'll move into the charts and kind of wrap things up. So Cardano has experienced a resurgence as a result of Bitcoin's recent bounce, which can largely be attributed to Jerome Powell's announcement that the balance sheet reduction or quantitative tightening that the government was hoping for will not take place. We covered this. We said that this was essentially likely to be the case and that inflation was running a lot higher than they would have hoped prior to this data even coming out. You guys should really watch my cryptocurrency market updates because we cover everything. Today, we even looked at the fact that sticks, in the form, they were called tallies back then, which is where we get the word from. And we also get the saying, the short end of the stick from, were previously used as an accounting system, a monetary system. And then we linked it into the fact that, when people say Bitcoin has no value, I beg to differ because it has no intrinsic value. Money is really an ideology. And that was said by Adam Smith, who wrote one of the founding books that finance is built on, The Wealth of Nations. And it goes on to, in tandem with the bullish sentiment, a neural profits PyTorch-based price prediction model, also known as a hybrid forecasting framework trained with standard deep learning methods, forecasted ADA would reach $3.60 by March the 1st. Predicting the price, nobody knows it better than me. Yes, we've been very accurate on the overall direction of crypto, of the overall direction of Cardano. We've been in the crypto space for a long time, and we have suggested that crypto is on this kind of adoption curve, and value is going to come as a result of that. But to suggest a exact price by an exact time is very hard. It's near impossible. Nobody has been able to do that with 100% accuracy. But one thing that I do agree with this is this is the direction that Cardano is going in. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. The price prediction model is for each day from July the 1st, 2021 to July the 1st, 2022. And although it is not an accurate indicator for further prices, it is a bold forecast for the decentralized asset since the movement of ADA has anticipated price, blah, 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 historically, so on and so forth. And then it goes into mention a number of things like the Cardano community and their kind of guess where Cardano is going and so on and so forth, which is a good indication of retail involvement. We are watching the Google trends to see when that uptick when we start to see an uptick or the start of an uptick for Cardano on the Google trends. That's when I kind of get the green light. And we have been buying, very happy to accumulate Cardano at the prices it's at. This, of course, is the algorithm or the algorithmically generated kind of price roadmap, if you will. I can definitely see Cardano moving in this kind of a fashion. I mean, it's historically been very right. And one thing that's very typical is when you actually go on to make a new all-time high, you'll typically rest for a bit and pull back and potentially find the previous one as support. And this is certainly true through Cardano's history. This is the roadmap that we have set out for ADA. Yes, we've sold off significantly harder into that fourth wave, but I still believe that we are following this kind of a structure. We're following an Elliott wave theory where we're yet to embark on our fifth wave, or potentially could have started that. You know, to call a bottom, we've tried to call a number of bottoms in this market, sometimes accurately. Certainly we called this one over here with a degree of accuracy. Those of you that have been following me for that long know that we called this falling wedge, and we did expect new all-time highs. But it's very hard. This market's a lot more mature to the point where you can just call a Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory. There's external factors that are at play here. Certainly recently we've seen a lot of headwind from the deflationary threats from the Federal Reserve, and you've got to take all this into account. But one thing I'm very confident of is the fact, and we keep reiterating this for a reason, that crypto in terms of adoption is very early. So certainly something like Cardano really isn't implemented in the world in a big way. That's all to come, and it's starting that journey now. Things are sort of, what they will do is they'll snowball. So we're going to get into it all. Or we've already got into it all, sorry. Bitcoin's up to a very pivotal moment for Bitcoin, because you're at this kind of neckline that we were previously at. Is history literally repeating, where this was your left shoulder, head, right shoulder? You made a marginally lower low, and now you're expecting continuation. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, marginally lower low, looking for that continuation. Could be the case. We're very, very excited. I'm unbelievably excited to be here, guys, with you. It's a journey that, you know, is exhilarating to be on. So this is still what we're expecting. You know, you can see Cardano, and we'll flip to this. One thing that's interesting with this kind of price model, it doesn't have to play out, but we do expect Cardano to go on to make new all-time highs for sure, whether that's March. For me, it's a definite that Cardano is going to go into make new all-time highs, or as certain as I can be on that. It's just a matter of time, a matter of when, not if. And one thing that you'll notice, which is interesting, is when we do indeed go on to make new all-time highs, we'll drop it to a daily so you can see this more clearly in kind of association with this price model, this price prediction model that we've seen. Can you see, if this was your previous high, you go on to make a new all-time high and you come back. You can see this every time. New all-time high, come back from the previous high. This is very, very common. Even with this over here, typically this is what happens, and this is kind of what that price model is suggesting, and it certainly ties in very nicely with the kind of Elliott wave theory that we think is at play. And we got this from this schematic over here. And this is, originally we had, I'll pull up my Elliott wave theory very quickly. This being your 1 wave, 2 wave, and originally we had this as your 3 wave, 4th wave, and now embarking on your 5th. What I do indeed believe now is that this is the end of your 3rd wave. This is your 4th wave, given the size of the correction, and this is your 5th wave. And one thing I want people to really pay attention to in regards to Cardano is the fact that since March 2020, you've failed to put in a new low. You've just continued to put in higher highs and higher lows. Still people calling for a bearish outcome with an uptrending chart. It just doesn't make sense. There's a lot more hopium on the bear side of things than there is the bullish side of things. And I just thought this was a really interesting article to show everyone. So that's really all I have for you in this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Very quickly, a massive shout out again to everybody staking with us. It's been a bit of a battle getting the delegators we need, certainly with all the ISPOs and stuff like that, but we're over 1.5 million Cardano staked to the stake pool, which means we're going to be minting blocks frequently and regularly and paying out rewards. And I know that was putting people off because we're a new pool. There's always teething issues, certainly in comparison with already established pools. But now we're at that stage where we're really establishing ourselves. We're playing an active role in the decentralization and running of the Cardano network. And it's been a goal of mine since I've been in the crypto space, and it's something that we're finally achieving. Made me very, very happy, and it's because of you guys. And I just want to say a huge thank you on the back end of that. I really appreciate all the support, all the love. There is a link to our Discord in the description. Stake pool ticker is ALLIN. There'll be more information in the description. And of course, head over to my Twitter at @RealAllInCrypto and give me a follow, because we always post regularly on there. I'm going to do a CNFT video after this one, as I'm still buying CNFTs and would like to keep doing those sort of updates frequently. It's just that I've had a lot going on the kind of personal side of things recently. And of course, that comes first. You know, being a YouTuber is not my career, it's not my job, but it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I love to get on here and talk with you guys. So I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated, so is a comment, and I look forward to catching you all in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents.